Tchia is an action-adventure game developed by Awaseb and published by Kepler Interactive. The game takes place on the island of New Caledonia, which is also where the developers are from, so it is a very authentic recreation of that island. You play as Tchia, a girl with the ability to take control of any animal or object you can find in the world. After her father is kidnapped by henchmen, Tchia sets off on a journey to save her father and to find out what's really going on while making friends along the way.
Oh, she got the power.
The story, in my opinion, is a bit of a mixed bag. While I did enjoy it mostly, there were parts that seemed a bit drawn out where I felt like they could have gone in another direction. Especially the parts where you had to go around taking pictures, that part seemed to drag on forever and probably could have been shortened to add more to other parts of the game because the game came to an abrupt end and I feel like the game could have went for maybe a few more missions to flesh things out just a little bit more, as there were still a few things that I felt were not answered. Granted, there could be a sequel, and maybe that is the point here, but based on how the game ended, I'm not sure if we will actually get one or not, but I guess we will see. The graphics in this game are really good for the most part, with some places being straight up beautiful to look at. I thought the game did a very good job of making you feel for Tchia, and making you want to see her succeed, even though I didn't really care much for any of the other characters in the game, which really made some sad moments fall flat for me. Where I thought the game was extremely lacking is enemy types. For the most part, majority of the time, if not the whole time, your enemies will be different colored papier-mâché type creatures that can only be defeated by taking control of either exploding items or items on fire and throwing them at the enemies. I would have really loved way more variety here because killing the same enemy types over and over again got old really quick. Especially with the very bare-bones combat we get here, as it never really varies from the combat that I talked about before. And this will get more annoying as the game goes on as you start doing more and more outposts. These outposts are not that hard to clear, to be honest, once you get the controls down. It's actually in general not a hard game at all, but I do feel a little more variety on the enemies and the combat would have helped here. I also ran into a few bugs here and there that need smoothed over, as a few of them were pretty bad. Oh no! Oh no! No, it's like that scene in Jumanji. On the flip side of that, taking control of almost any object in the world is really cool, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the game, as you could take over a bird that is flying around, and you can traverse the world that way, at least until the possession meter diminishes, which admittedly isn't as long as I would like, because you get to be the bird from, at least towards the beginning of the game for like 15 seconds, and then it kicks you out. But regardless, you could be the bird, or you could take control of a crab to cut through things that maybe you couldn't cut through before. This adds a nice variety to the traversal and some mechanics in the game, along with your ability to slingshot yourself from a tree, which I also thought was pretty cool. The music in this game is also great. The music, I believe, is native to New Caledonia, and I enjoyed almost every song. It was definitely a big highlight of the game for me. Most of these songs are played through a mini-game where Tchia plays either a ukulele or rubs two leaves together to the beat of the prompts as either Tchia herself or another person sings. You can also switch the music to autoplay if you don't really want to do the mini-game and you just want to listen to the music. You can also sit at the campfires and play the ukulele on your own to your own beat, kind of like you could in The Last of Us 2. Not exactly the same format, but still the same concept. The songs that are in the game are not in English, though. They are in the island's native tongue with subtitles, just like the voice acting in the rest of the game. This didn't really bother me at all, as I enjoyed the developers trying to bring New Caledonia to life in an authentic way, but if you are someone who doesn't like reading subtitles, maybe this game wouldn't be for you in that regard. There are also some side activities that you can do throughout the game, such as clearing camps where you can find chests with cosmetics, or doing wood carvings where the wood carvings line up to markings you find on a certain door around the map. So basically, if the wood carving matches the wood carving on the door will open up and allow you inside, and you can explore that area and find more items inside. Another fun side activity is the races you find in the open world, where you have to go through a certain amount of gates in the allotted time to get the gold, silver, or bronze medals. These medals can be put into a claw machine where you have a chance to win certain items such as cosmetics for Tchia, amongst other things you can win. Other items you find around the map include fruits you can find growing out of the ground or underneath fabric that could be burned away. These fruits can be eaten by Tchia and gives her the ability to raise her stamina. There are also braided trinkets that you find out in the open world that is used to purchase cosmetics at shops. There are also points of view where Tchia does a yell to unlock locations on the map, making it easier to find all the items that we talked about before, plus other things. I have talked a lot about cosmetics, and that is because you can find a ton of them in this game. From shirts to different types of pants or skirts to necklaces, the game pretty much allows you to put any kind of combination of clothes onto Tchia, especially if you find all of the outfits in the game. The game also allows you to change the look of your parachute that you will use a lot, especially when you're jumping down from high places. And they also let you change the design of the flag on your boat at docking stations where you can choose between which flag you want to use. So the game gives you a lot of cosmetic options to go through, and I think this is another one of the game's big strengths, as who doesn't want a lot of cosmetics to play with? In the end, I thought Tchia was a decent but flawed game that I thought did some things really well, but some things also could have been done much better. I think the world is beautiful. As I said before, the developers did a fantastic job of bringing the world to life in a realistic way. The music in this game is also fantastic, and I enjoyed every song that they gave me. But with just how bare bones the combat and the enemies are, a lot of game just fell flat for me, and that is why I am giving Tchia a 6 out of 10. While I appreciate and respect what Awaseb was going for, I just feel like more could have been done to make the game even more engaging. Whether that be different combat upgrades to give Tchia different and better abilities, or maybe having boss fights where the paper mache creatures turn into maybe paper mache monsters, or just have multiple enemy types altogether. Just anything to add a little more variety here. This game clearly took a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild, and I feel like maybe they should have leaned even harder into that to make for a more enjoyable overall experience. I do think Awaseb has a solid foundation though, and I think they could easily build off this game to make something bigger and better next time, and I can't wait to see what they do next. But what do you guys think of Tchia? Did you like it more or less than I did? Let me know in the comment section below. But that's going to do it for this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.